One creature has been able to defeat Superman: Doomsday. Welcome to the Complete Story Series. We take trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then review is dramatically back to you. All alterations to the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. This is the original 1990s Death of Superman arc. A fist smashes the metallic wall in front of him, again and again, and he hits it so hard that his glove begins to peel back from his hand, revealing bones protruding from his fists, until finally, the bones break through the wall and he is free. Doomsday is here! Finally free, the monster bound in green leather with one arm tied behind its back jumps out of its prison. As he looks over the forest in front of him, a little bird lands on his hands, and he crushes it, laughing. He continues trekking through the wilderness, splintering the trees in front of him, and eventually he makes it to a bridge filled with cars, and he destroys it, continuing to laugh. As he continues moving forward, a tractor trailer gets in his way, and he punches it so hard that he causes it to explode before continuing his walk. Another truck driver saw it happen, and he calls it into HQ. We need the Justice League! Booster Gold and Maxima arrive first, moving the innocents out of the fire, while Guy Gardner uses his yellow ring to put out the flames and Tora is icing them over. It's Bloodwing that tells the group they need to find the beast that caused this. They all climb into Blue Beetle's flying beetle and they go deeper into the forest until Doomsday sees them and he throws a tree at the flying beetle, destroying it. Everyone panics as the flyers catch the non-flyers and they bring them down to the ground. Doomsday has already left though, so they begin their chase again. He has made it to a nearby street where he is wrecking cars in his path and Guy Gardner jumps in first. But literally before Guy can do anything, Doomsday catches him by the face and buries him in one swing. His speed is incredible. Fire begins pumping her abilities onto Doomsday, but he ignores her and he continues walking. This is nothing to Doomsday. He then throws a rocket fire, dropping her, and he grabs Blue Beetle by the throat. He slams his head into the wall, into the ground, and into a gas tank, until Blue Beetle is literally begging for someone to save him. He then throws Blue Beetle aside while catching Bloodwing by the leg and slamming him into another nearby tanker. By this time, Superman has seen the news and he knows the League is having problems, so he leaves the interview that he is at and he takes the skies. Back at the fight, Booster Gold sees his closest friend, Blue Beetle, on the brink of death, and overcome with rage, he runs in to fight against Doomsday. But Doomsday winds up and hits him with everything. Luckily, Booster Gold put up his force field just in time so he didn't feel it, but he went flying uncontrollably through the sky. As he goes whipping through it, Superman stops and catches him. That's far enough, Booster. What's going on? Superman, I'm telling you right now, it's like Doomsday is here! Everyone gets Blue Beetle to the hospital and Tora chases Doomsday. It ends with her being thrown into a house and him grabbing the resident's car. Booster and Superman land in front of him and Doomsday goes for a gut punch that Superman takes fully to the chest without even flinching. He then winds up a kick and kicks Superman through the house and into a tree, splintering it. Doomsday then slams Booster Gold's head into another tree and crushes Tora's back before Superman gets back into it, slamming him into the ground. Then the Justice League finally reforms and they all decide to hit Doomsday with everything that they have. It's their only hope. They blast him with heat vision, lantern power, fire, I-beams, and Booster's power suit until half of them are literally out of juice. And Doomsday doesn't even flinch. It only burned off half his clothing, freeing his other arm and revealing the monster beneath, the one covered in bone spurs and an angry grin. With lightning speed, he responds by kicking Superman aside and grabbing Booster by the throat while stepping on Guy Gardner. After he crushes the League and throws Superman aside, he makes another leap, leaving the area. Superman refuses to let him escape and he moves at top speed to catch him while the house behind him burns. Doomsday eventually jumps up, crushing helicopters over him that intended to hit him with missiles, and Superman catches the stray missiles and throws them back at Doomsday, knocking him back to the ground. Doomsday lands on top of a police car and Superman dives in with a full force of a kick, crushing Doomsday into the street. But Doomsday isn't even close to done. He knocks Superman back into the air and the two of them continue going at it until a helicopter begins shooting at Doomsday. He grabs a street lamp and knocks the helicopter out of the sky. While Superman saves the pilots of the helicopter, Maxima from the League returns and hits Doomsday with all of her might into a local store. Superman flies over asking her what is she doing? There are innocents here, and she tells him there will always be victims of battle. Superman flies over to Doomsday to hold him still while Maxima gets a hit in, but with his speed, Doomsday moves Superman into punching range of Maxima, and she hits Superman, knocking him off of Doomsday, so Doomsday throws her into a gas station and then drops a van on her. Superman comes back into the fight and Maxima rips out a street lamp out of the ground, igniting a spark that sets the whole gas station off and it explodes, throwing everyone aside. Guardian arrives to get Maxima out of the fight, as Superman takes to the skies to find Doomsday, which doesn't take long. Following him is like following a tornado. Doomsday moves to Lexmark, where a video showcasing a wrestling commercial on TV tells him that if you want the fight of your life, then you need to come to Metropolis. Just as Superman slams him into the back wall of the building, Doomsday responds by throwing a bus at Superman. That's when Doomsday sees a sign, Metropolis 60 miles. Superman realizes that the monster wants to go to where the fight supposedly is, and he decides that he can't let Doomsday get to Metropolis, so he hits him with everything! They take their fight into the wilderness around Metropolis and into a tree village created by Cadmus. They go back and forth with no obvious winner until the whole building comes down on Superman, burying him. And Doomsday jumps towards Metropolis. But as he gets closer, Superman grabs him from behind and tries to launch Doomsday into space. But Doomsday responds by giving him a swift kick, knocking the breath out of the Man of Steel. He lands in the middle of Metropolis, crushing a building under construction. And that's when things get so crazy that Lex Luthor decides to send Supergirl in to help. But it's not the real Supergirl. It's a shape-shifting alien that believes itself to be Supergirl. And as she arrives, Doomsday drops her in a single swing, smearing her face and forcing her to change back into her natural self before going unconscious. Everyone in Metropolis comes to Superman's aid, even with Dan Turpin leading a strike force and shooting the monster, but nothing can stop him. The two Titans move into the streets where they're hitting each other over and burying each other into the ground. Clark realizes that this might be the end, and as he saves Lois from potential harm, gives her a kiss telling her to remember, no matter what happens, he'll love her. And then he flies in to finish Doomsday. He hits him with everything, sending Doomsday through a building and into a truck. And then Doomsday grabs him, shoving his head into the ground. As Lois is about to be in harm's way again, Superman punches his way out of the ground and slams Doomsday in the back. He then tries to force him back with his heat vision, but Doomsday knees Superman in the chin, actually cutting him and forcing the Man of Steel to bleed. The bone spurs are so sharp that they begin cutting Superman all over, so Superman finally starts breaking them off in hopes of injuring the monster finally. Both Titans finally begin to wear thin, hitting each other with everything until finally they hit each other so hard, they both collapse defeated. Most will remember this sad day as the day the proudest and most noble man they ever knew finally fell. For those that loved him, one would call him husband, one would call him pal, and those that would call him son. This was the darkest day that they could ever imagine. As Superman faded from this world, Lois ran to his side crying, and he asked her in his final words, "Doomsday, is he? You stopped him. You saved us all. Now relax." And Superman did finally relax, because this is the day Superman died. This was the story of the 90s. It sold millions of copies. And if you want to see us continuing, give this video a like. I'm Benny the Comicstorian, and if you want to see more videos just like this, make sure you subscribe to our channel, Comicstorian. Follow me on Twitter @Comicstorian, and go ahead and check us out on Instagram @Comicstorian. I'll see you guys next time right here.